Hey, hope everybody's doing well. Had a great Christmas, and wish everybody a fantastic upcoming New Year's. Kind of a quick overview of another recent alpha release. This would be v3 0.11.0, and this will be build number, 30/12/2021. So this will be the last alpha release build for this year. Holiday starts over in Russia, so they won't be back until the 10th of January of 2022. So that said, this will be the last alpha release for this year. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and launch this. Again, kind of a quick thing. If you hit the little caret, you can choose which graphics API you want to use. I am using Windows, actually Windows version 11, and I have an NVIDIA card that supports Vulkan, so I am going to use the Vulkan API format. So, go ahead and launch this guy and get him started. And this will be kind of a quick overview because a few things have changed. I'm going to highlight, kind of touch on some of the new features in here. So first off, let me make sure I got audio here that you guys can actually, yeah, okay. All right, so I'm going to turn this off so we're not annoying anything here, not having to talk over anything. All right, so a couple new things up here. You'll notice that the screen is a little bit different now. You do have your band selection button and your mode selection, and these can be toggled on and off, and I'll show you that here in a minute. You also have now the ability to record and play back, line out to wave, and a line out, which I'm going to be using here into OBS. So that's how I'll be getting audio from V3 into the recording here into OBS. So that's new as well. And then we've got a couple other features that are going to be new that we'll kind of touch on as we go through this. So to get to the new stuff, in here, by the way, you can always hit the About button to bring up your version number and your build number. Some of the new things in here. In the mic profile section now, you have the ability to export and import, so you can save mic profiles, you can export them and import them. This does use a new format, so your versions from V2 will not work in this. These completely new file structure with Qt6, so you'll have to create new profiles for that, okay? Let's see what else has been in here since we've done the last overview. Okay, in this section, that's pretty much it, the import and export of the mic profiles. Underneath the headphone settings, you have the ability for recording line out on each one of your receivers, receiver 1, receiver 2. You can set up different paths. I've created like an RX1 path, and then for my second receiver, I created an RX2 path. Now, you can't set the duration of how long you want this to record, and it will break these up in chunks. Obviously, I have this set at 5 minutes, so anything over 5 minutes will start another recording, with another file stamp on it. So you'll have, continuously keep going. It does once you stop the recording, it does convert that to an MP3 automatically. It starts it off in a WAV, but once you close it, it's converted to an MP3, which is very nice. So let's see, the other thing in here, your sound card out feature. So I'm going to use Virtual Cable 3 as my sound out, which is my input for OBS now, into OBS Studio. And that's toggled up here, line out the sound card, which if I undo this, it's going to stop recording the sound in from the software into OBS. So I've got Virtual Cable 3 for the first receiver, and then Virtual Cable 4 for the second receiver. So that's kind of a new thing there. Down underneath the setup feature, you still have your frequency offsets, starting and stopping for digital modes and voice, your overall for AM, and then your narrow FM modulator section. You can do one tone or two tones, and then pick which tones you want to use. If you have, for the SunDX2, if you have the external ATU, you can initiate the stay on TX mode. You can set up your IP address and your port number now within V3, or changes, I should actually say. Your frequency coefficients corrections for frequency is now able to be done in here as well as your power correction offsets. Startup features, similar to what was in V2. So if you want to automatically start an application, you basically pick up your path, the exe file for that, give it a name, and then turn it on and off in here, and it'll automatically start when you launch V3. A couple other new features in here. The spectrum feature, I think we went over this last time, which does the auto positioning of the offset for your spectrum view. The waterfall scalable now has a slider in it besides just turning it on and off, so you can fast or slow it. The spot settings, similar to V2, where you can set the limit of number of spots and what the lifetime on those spots collected is. And this is where you would turn off and on the modulation panel, which is up here, and your bands panel, which is over here. So if you want the normal, V3 layout, so that you're just using the drop-down boxes, the fields here, that's where that would get turned on and off. And by the way, if you do turn these on here, you still can use the drop-downs as well. Okay. Let me close that guy. And then your broadcast data, I think we went over this the last time too. So this is where you're going to put your port numbers for broadcasting data to other applications, skimmers, with skimmers and logging software, things like that. Sorry, kind of went mind blank for a second. Again, your spectrum sample rates. Your bandpass filters, and again, I'll stress that if you're using the 2DX or the MB1, make sure you do put this on BPF instead of the auto. You'll avoid a lot of incidences where you have maybe possible receiver overload, especially when you go into the general receive sections outside of the hand bands. Again, on the 2DX and the MB1, and on the Pro, you're going to want to turn on the low noise amplifier for 2 meters. And if you're using an external reference, you're going to need to turn this on as well to activate that. So that's kind of a quick overview of that. We'll go ahead and fire this up a second here. And again, I think I've lost my, yeah, okay. So hopefully you guys are getting a little bit of audio here for that. Probably actually ought to get on something here.
73, be safe out there in the water, and God bless, and all the best to you, Ronald. Happy New Year.
Again, you can play with your filters, your filter wisp by dragging open and close, which will put you in the user mode or the set values that are in here. So pretty much all of this is still the same, with the exception of what I was mentioning before here. So that's kind of a quick overview of V3 0.11.0 build number 30/12/2021. So again, hope everybody had a great Christmas and has a great upcoming New Year. This is N8SDR. Thanks.